Yo, what is up, Illuminati Madden League? Bradley here, and we are diving into another Illuminati Weekly. Though, I mean, can we really say it's Illuminati Weekly at this point? I think it's maybe been like 3 weeks since we have had one of these kind of around the league type shows. Um, I don't know, man. Like we hit at the end of like season two. We didn't have like the Illuminati weeklies. They kind of disappear at the end of the season because we're like juggling the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and we run like multiple kind of pre Super Bowl shows. So there was some space with that, and then once we started season three, I had some things going on in my personal life, so I kind of fell behind in putting things out. Life kind of buried me a little bit, so I apologize. And then I was sick for a little bit, and my life has just been crazy on my end. A good crazy though. Life is good. Immensely blessed. So yes, um, yeah, we are officially like over halfway through season three. Um, I'm going to try through the rest of this season and moving forward to resume the weekly shows. I've been trying to do them on the weekends. I think that might be part of the problems. Like my weekends have just been nuts. So I think I'm probably going to aim to do the Illuminati weekly maybe around the middle of the week, and we'll test that out. We'll test the waters with that and see how that goes. Ultimately, though, I want to find a proper rhythm where we are consistently putting these shows out. Yeah. So yeah. That's the thing. We are running into kind of some issues right now, and I mean, it is what it is. I've communicated the issues through the news channel, and I've put out polls to gauge what the community wants to do. And that issue, that dilemma we are looking at is what do we want to do, right? We have had quite a few guys so far say, I'm done for the cycle. And they hung up the hat, and we've replaced guys. We have like over 300 people in the server, so theoretically we have an immensely large waiting list, but it's kind of an illusion. To be completely honest, with cards on the table, the waiting list is pretty barren as far as I'm concerned. There's maybe one guy we potentially have lined up for a team that is vetted and proven. I don't want to bring in unknowns that nobody knows, right? If we are replacing guys, we are going to replace them with quality guys. If we cannot replace our turnover with quality guys, then we're done for the cycle. But we have initiated a referral bonus. So you bring in guys, you can potentially get a referral bonus to encourage people to bring people in. And I mean, I can build the waiting list up and I can find vetted guys, all right? Like, I just need to find the time to go through the process of finding those guys, right? So that's not too big of a deal, but what I'm concerned with, right? Like, we've had a lot of guys hang up the hats, and then there are more guys that are kind of like on the fence of, do I want to keep playing or do I want to call it for the cycle? I feel like we are quickly getting into a territory that if we keep moving forward and guys keep saying I'm done for the cycle, then basically for us to move forward, it is like we're basically reinventing the wheel. Like, that's what I feel like we're doing, right? Like our we have core members to our league, and if all of our core members hang up the hat, then we're basically forced to reinvent the wheel and find a new core. I don't want to find a new core. I want to roll with the guys that we have, and yeah. So that's what's up. We put out a poll today to gauge what guys want to do, and there's about 2/3 of the guys saying yeah, let's go 5 seasons, and we have about a third of the guys so far that have voted saying let's only go 3. So I'm not really sure what the future is. I want to go five, right? I want to go five. I'm excited to go five. I believe if we go five, I have a legitimate chance of getting my team into the playoffs, which for me that's a big deal, right? Right now I'm sitting with an 0-9 team, but I also took like four forced losses or something like that because of like this like funk that I hit in life, right? Like I got busy and all kinds of crap going on. And I ended up taking multiple force losses. So, yeah. So that's pretty disappointing on my end. Like I went, I think all of season two without missing a single game. So I I hated taking those force losses. I think prior to that in season one, my only force loss was I spent a weekend down in Cincinnati for a Bengals game, so took a force loss that weekend. But yeah, so I mean, I haven't been taking force losses. I haven't been taking like sims. Like I've been playing all my games, and to go through a stretch where I took all of those force losses in a row, that kind of stung. Especially when I'm sitting on a team that I really believe in. And if we're able to continue to press on, I believe I have a legitimate shot at playoffs, and I want to exercise that shot. I want to move forward. I want the league to hit 5 seasons. If we don't hit 5 seasons, honestly, I feel like the league failed. Like that's real talk. I want to hit 5 seasons, but I don't want to do it with a different group of guys. I want to do it with the guys we have. So I don't know. I don't know. Last week there was a lot of turnover last week. The amount of turnover we had last week, like we can't keep having that. So we'll ride out the rest of this season, and we will see where things stand at the end of the season. I want to move forward. That's my goal. So that's what I want to happen. So let's talk though. Let's talk though about season number 30. Season number 3 has it's not been what I expected. Season 3 has not been what I expected. What was the expectation moving into season 3? I think the expectation for season 3 was NFC domination. What have we got? Not NFC domination. Here is a statistic for you. 80. What is 80? 80 is the number of wins that the AFC teams have right now. 66. What is 66? 66 is the number of wins that NFC teams have right now. Last season, season 2, everyone's like, oh, NFC is the far superior division. I think the tables have turned. I think the tables have turned, and the dominant division is the AFC. Currently, there is one undefeated team left in the league. That being Steady and his Dolphins. Or no, I take that back. There are 2 undefeated teams. Both are AFC teams. Steady and his Dolphins, and Steady and his Dolphins, and then we also have Dallas and his Broncos. And moving into this season, right? Like Steady is recognized as a top end guy, right? Steady's recognized as a top end guy, and we brought in Beeman, who took over the Ravens, who's recognized as a top end guy. So he that's instantly raises the level of competition. However, Dallas and his Broncos, I feel like is a team that really flew under the radar. But if you paid attention to what was going on at the end of last season, probably shouldn't have been flying under the radar. Something that was talked about and kind of the build to the Super Bowl. I think it was like week 17 or something, right? Like Dallas beat one of the 2 Super Bowl contenders, and then week number 18 he beat the other Super Bowl contender. So in the final 2 weeks of the season, Dallas beat both of the guys who were in the Super Bowl in season 3. And now here he is with his first full season, and like saying first full season is kind of an understatement because he came in right at the end of season 2, right? So kind of coming in as the first real shot to like prove anything, to really say anything, to do anything. He's sitting at a 9-0 record. The AFC is loaded right now. We got young Swagger, right? Like Beeman and his Ravens have gotten so much hype moving into this season. Young Swagger, though, he's sitting there with a 7-2 record. Beeman's with a 7-2 record. Them two are tied, one and like tied 7-2, both sitting with a 7-2 record. There in the AFC North. And then the AFC South is probably the weakest performing division in the AFC, but you got the Texans, you got the Titans, and you got the Colts all sitting with 6 wins. And then in the AFC East, you got Steady and his Dolphins sitting at 10-0, and then under Steady and his Dolphins, you have the Bills that are sitting at 7-3, and then in the AFC West, Dallas is he's doing his thing, sitting at 9-0. The NFC though, shifting over and looking at the NFC, right? Um, last season, like the NFC was absolutely dominant. Like they're not living up to it right now. In the NFC North, um, King is 6-2, and then you got two 5-win teams in the division in the NFC South. H Coke is having a great year. He's sitting at 8-1. Cool Under Fire and his Falcons are sitting at 6-2, so they're right there on the heels. You plug Cool Under Fire into the NFC East or the NFC North, he's potentially on the top of that division, right? But he's playing second fiddle right now to H Coke. In the NFC East, you've got the NFC East, like that division is, I don't know what's going on over there. Like in the past, this division has been dominant. Not so much right now. Right now, you got the Giants 4-4. He's about to be 4-5, going to take a forced loss. Then you got the Eagles, Jumper and his Eagles sitting at 3-6. You got Jagoda and his Cowboys sitting at 3-6. The Redskins, or not Redskins, Commanders are sitting at 2-7. And in the NFC West, we got the Seahawks sitting at 8-1, so an impressive record there. Frank and his Rams at 6-3. So really, as far as the NFC goes, like there's maybe four guys that I would say are having a good year. Four guys I'd be like, okay, these guys are legit. And then we look over in the AFC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 guys, double the amount of guys in the AFC than the NFC that are having a stellar year. Last year, though, the narrative was the NFC is dominant. This season, though, season 3, dominance is coming from the end of the AFC. Um, Kind of breaking down the divisions, going through the divisions, the NFC or the AFC North. Right now, the race is between Young Swagger and Beeman. If I was to make a prediction on who I think is going to win that race, I've got my money on Beeman. Swagger is having a great year. Swagger has proven himself, though, has shown himself to be inconsistent, while Beeman is probably one of the most consistent Madden players that I know. So if I was a betting man, I would put my money on Beeman in that division. In the AFC South right now, like there are 3 6-win teams. The Colts, there's some turnover there. Estrada is like hit and miss, right? Doc and his Texans, though, sitting at 6-3. If I was putting my money on any of the 6-win teams, I'm going with Doc. Doc, I think, is the safe bet. The safe bet by far. I would say, yeah. Out of the contested divisions, right? Doc is probably the safest pick, like the safest lock. So, yeah. In the AFC East, Steady is at 10-0. The Bills are 7-3. I mean, the Bills are kind of still in it, but it's Steady's division. Steady's winning the AFC East and the AFC West. AFC West, I mean, the Broncos are 9-0. Closest team to them is the Raiders at 5-4. We're going to go with the Broncos in that. NFC North. The NFC divisions are probably going to be tougher to call. NFC, we got in the NFC North, we got the Vikings, we got the Packers, and we got the Lions that are potentially all still in it. The Bears might still have a shot, probably not, but I don't think the Lions are going to get anything done. I think the Lions are going to crumble through the rest of this season. I think this division comes down to Dash and his Packers and King and his Vikings. I think Stinky and his Lions could be good, but Stinky's one of the guys that's like ready to hang up the hat for the year. So I think on paper, right, theoretically, I think the safe pick is King. Like King and his Vikings, I think is the safe pick. Like if I think it's the safe pick. I think it's the pick that most people would go with. But I got a feeling in my gut about Dash and his Packers. I am taking Dash and his Packers for the Cinderella story. I got Dash winning this division. Dash is my pick to win the NFC North. NFC South, we got H Coke and his Panthers, Cool Under Fire and his Falcons. The Falcons 6-2, H Coke 8-1. This is a hard one, right? I think if H Coke plays all of his games, I think H Coke wins the division. But H Coke is a guy that historically does take a handful of sims, does take a handful of force losses through the course of a season. Right now, like it looks like Cool Under Fire has it looks like he's down 2 games, right? But it looks like H Cook has just played more games, right? Because like H Cook's only sitting with 1 loss, Cole Under Fire is sitting with 2 losses. I don't think I don't think the gap is as far as it looks. I want to go with H Cook, but with the amount of force losses that he usually takes, I think I got to go with Cool Under Fire. Like I think if H Coke plays all of his games, H Coke runs away with the division. But we're going with Cool Under Fire. I'm going with Cool Under Fire in this game, and don't count H Coke out. H Coke will easily handedly get one of the wild card spots, and playoff H Coke is not regular season H Coke. He will show up in the playoffs and make a deep push. So we got Cool Under Fire for the NFC South champion, NFC East champion. I don't know, man. This NFC East is like toilet bowl division right now. So we got the Giants at 4-5 following the force loss that's incoming. We got Jumper 3-6. We got Jagoda 3-6, and then the Commanders 2-7. This division is a disaster. This division is an absolute disaster right now. In the mix of the disaster, I think you got to go with Jumper in the mix of it, right? But you want to know who's going to win this division? Whoever gets their crap together, because these guys don't got their crap together. Like I listen. I love the guys in this division, but I'm pretty sure all 3 of the guys. I'm pretty sure Giants. I'm pretty sure Jumper. I'm pretty sure Jagoda. Or I don't think Jumper has, but I know Jumper's a guy that's kind of on the fence at hanging up the hat. But Jagoda and the Cowboys and the Giants, they've both have had multiple games where they've made no attempt to schedule their games at all this season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 teams turn over in this division. Like, that's not what I want to happen. I love all these guys. I want all these guys to be in the league. But, I mean, like, you got to play your games, right? In the mix of it all, like, with the uncertainty, Jumper is a safe pick. I'm going to go Jumper. I think, though, if any of these guys get hungry, like, if someone in this division gets hungry, I think they run away with it. NFC West, probably the hardest one to call. Seahawks 8-1. Rams 6-3. Both of these teams, right? Both Cheech and Frank are Super Bowl caliber players. One of them will win the division. The other one will probably have the top wild card spot. I wonder if they've played yet. I got Neon Sports up in the background. Let me look at the schedule to see if they've actually played yet. All right, they've played one game. Frank's losses are to Steady, Cheech, and Bills. He's still got Jets, Bears, Seahawks again, San Fran, Arizona, Raiders, Packers, Vikings. So 1, 2. Could be tougher, could be easier. Middle of the road schedule. Let's look at Cheech's schedule so far. Okay, his one loss was to Steady. And he still got the Packers, the Vikings, Rams again, the Bills, New England, Jets, San Fran, Arizona. I don't know, man. Let me pull up Cheech's. Let me look at Cheech's schedule from the previous season. So in season 2, he lost to the Vikings, lost to the Rams, lost to the Falcons, lost to the Commanders. I don't know if he actually played that. Lost to Jagoda. Can't really look at season 1 because I don't think he played the majority of season 1. I think we had a different owner then. Listen, both of these two guys are Super Bowl caliber guys. I think if it's a playoff game and they're in a playoff game, they're battling it out. I think Frank, right? Like Frank is the guy I would go with. However, Cheech has a multi-game lead, and I don't see either of these guys losing multiple games still in the season, right? I could legitimately see both Frank and Cheech winning out with the exception of when they collide and someone wins the head-to-head. Because of the multi-game lead that Cheech currently has, I'm going to go with Cheech to win this division. Right. I'm going to go with Cheech to win this division, but Frank is a lock for the wild card. All right, I don't even know if I'll remember what teams I picked. So, the AFC, I picked Beeman, picked Ravens, we picked Doc, the Texans, we picked the Dolphins, and we picked the Broncos. What 3 AFC teams do we think win a wild card? Okay, so Steelers will be an AFC wild card. Bills will be an AFC wild card. The third AFC wild card. So Nick is sitting at 4 wins right now. Who has he lost to? The Raiders, the Browns, Tampa, Steelers, Broncos. Okay. And he's got the Chargers, the Ravens, the Jags, Saints, Atlanta, Carolina, Chargers. I feel like this is so like the third wild card spot in the AFC. I would put the teams in contention for it being the Browns, the Titans, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Browns, Titans, Raiders, Chiefs. I feel like the biggest long shot out of these four teams is the Chiefs, but I've got a good feeling about Nick. I've got a good feeling about Nick in this season. I'm gonna go with Nick to lock down the third AFC wildcard. So my prediction right now for AFC playoffs: Ravens, Texans, Dolphins, Broncos, Steelers, Bills, Chiefs, with the Dolphins being the 1 seed. In the NFC side of things, we picked the Packers, the Falcons, the Eagles, and the Seahawks to win their divisions. And I feel like the NFC wild card is a lot clearer, right? Vikings are going to land a wild card spot. The Panthers are going to land a wild card spot, and the Rams are going to land a wild card spot. Who wins the 1 seed in the NFC? The 1 seed in the NFC, I believe, will be Cheech and his Seahawks. Out of all of these teams, who do we think will make the Super Bowl? So AFC, we have Ravens, Texans, Dolphins, Broncos, Steelers, Bills, Chiefs. To me, it comes down to two teams when I look at this potential list of theoretical teams that could potentially be in the AFC wildcard. The main two teams that kind of really jump out to me are Beeman and his Ravens, Steady and his Dolphins. And I think I'm going to go with Beeman and his Ravens to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. That is my prediction. The NFC, who do I think will represent? Who do I think will represent the NFC? Packers, Falcons, Eagles, Seahawks, Vikings, Panthers, Rams. This is a lot harder. When I was looking at the AFC, there's like two teams that really stick out to me. I look at this NFC, right, and I don't think it's that simple. I don't think Dash has what it takes to make the Super Bowl. I don't think Cool Under Fire, like Cool Under Fire is good. And I know he's done it in the past in other leagues, but I've never been in a league with him when he won when it counted. Like, I've seen him make the playoffs many times, but I've always seen him fall short. I know in other leagues he's gone on to win bowls, but I've never seen that. I've seen him crumble under pressure. We had Eagles. I have Eagles winning their division. If Jumper gets his head on straight, right, I think Jumper could repeat, right? I think Jumper could be a repeat Super Bowl appearance. I've got Seahawks making the bowl or being the 1 seed in the NFC. I got this gut feeling, though, that I think the Seahawks break down in the playoffs. Vikings. King is good, but I got a gut feeling. Like, my gut says, nah. That's what my gut says. H. Coke and his Panthers. I could see H. Coke and his Panthers repeating and making it again to the Super Bowl. And then we got Frank and his Rams. So when I break down these potential teams that hypothetically will be in the NFC playoffs, I guess breaking them down and looking at them one by one, 3 teams really jump out to me. The Eagles, the Panthers, and the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. My prediction, Season 3, Week 10 for the Season 3 Super Bowl. Beeman and his Ravens, Frank and his Rams. That's the early prediction. We'll see how it plays out. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Wish nothing but love and blessing upon you. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Peace.